Hello and welcome yet to another episode on my YouTube channel. I'm Gladys Nyambura, and if you are new here, please consider subscribing to watch this video and more in the future, and 174 videos I've made in the past. So let's talk about what is happening in Kenya at the moment. So 24 individuals have been arrested by Interpol in connection to the 1.1 billion Kenya shillings that was stolen through carding. And so this, according to the news on the internet, seems to have been something going on for a very long time. And previously, like for the past 2 months, we've had a case of one individual that was gunned down and allegedly shot dead, or was found dead in his apartment, in an apartment he had rented in Mombasa. Now, a month later, his friend was also gunned down in a similar incident. Now, these two were really close friends and they were flaunting the monies and they were flaunting cars, yet were very young men. Now, let's talk about what's happening. So, some young men and women that flaunt wealth on social media and claim to be trading the financial markets are linked to carding. So let's get onto it. What is carding? So carding, in reference to this, is the acquisition of data of an individual's ATM card and using it to do fraud. And this is very simple. Like someone gets information on about your ATM card and they use it for fraudulent purposes. And this is something that has been happening all along in our eyes, only that we cannot see it. Now, the individuals arrested, well, only 24 are in Kenya. However, there's a majority, but basically all the money that had been linked to carding is linked to Africa. And I think, if I'm not wrong, it's 1,100 individuals, only that 24 are from Kenya. Now, let me explain to you how this happens. I think there's so many ways of doing this, and one of them could be like one of those emails that you receive about your package is about to be received, key in your payment details, blah 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 blah. I've also received such messages in the past. And also another way could be like how you input details on your payment method on your browser on your laptop, not knowing that there's a third party watching your whole system and how you're operating it. Another one could be when you receive a call, or maybe you're trying to make payment somewhere, you just receive a random call, and then unfortunately, innocently, you just give out your payment details, like your card number and the expiration and the name on it. And I'll just like to speak about this because I sort of understand what's going on here, and I'll tell you why. Now, I'd just like to express my sincere condolences to the individuals that have lost their money. I know, like, it's not easy going out there and working hard for your money and then someone is just busy like stealing it from you. That's just wrong. It's different from when you willingly give it to someone or maybe when you purchase something with it. And it could be maybe these individuals stole, like, someone's retirement money or someone's mortgage, things like that, entire savings. It's just not okay. And how this works is, like, once they have like your payment details, they could feed it in on, let's say, they could create a PayPal account and things like that, and this money could be withdrawn probably from your main bank account to maybe go to the PayPal, and then the amount is transferred to maybe another PayPal account or something, or maybe they just withdraw it directly. Now, I don't know, this just makes me sad and it makes me sick. And I would like to tell you, like, there are four major problems just to mention a few, I believe there are so many problems that I've picked from this story. And before I list the 4 problems, I'd like to mention that it's just so wrong. Like what these guys did is so wrong. And to even think that you can just sit down and just milk someone's money, I don't know whether to call it sick or what. And also the fact that these individuals can pose as forex traders, that just doesn't make sense. That's just wrong. And and I feel like posing as a forex trader is actually one of the things that could actually get you outed. Because if you do claim to trade forex, then you must have your database, you must have proof, you must have at least like an account that you trade with, and that amount of money that you get out of trading forex should make sense. So at the end of the day, if Interpol has caught up with you on your own lies, honestly, I don't know what will happen to these young individuals. Now, let's just list 4 major problems I've identified in this situation. And after listing these problems, I'm going to give you a backstory and tell you exactly why I'm interpreting this news in this manner. Yeah. So the first major problem I've identified is cybersecurity. For starters, I think that every individual on this planet is supposed to like take up a simple cybersecurity course, and I mean like it could go for like 3 days max, and that is it. Like it's just knowledge on how to like safeguard yourself while on the internet. It's just basically that. And if at all we had individuals that, if at all like the people whose information was stolen and used it for fraudulent purposes, if indeed they were like aware of cybersecurity, or maybe cyber crimes, or had taken like a course on cybersecurity, most of these problems would have been avoided. Yeah, because cybersecurity is simply for safeguarding your data while on the internet, and like how to handle probably like a suspicious email, like how to handle links that you receive, how to handle like data on your laptop and things like that. There's just a lot that you could learn from it. Not that I'm not saying that they did not take precaution measures. I'm just stating a major problem. Maybe we all need to take a cybersecurity course. It could go for maximum a week. Yeah. And number 3, and I'll just speak for Kenya. I'll just say that a major problem that I've identified, like in this issue, is lack of employment in Kenya. Clearly, if someone is into like doing all these kind of businesses, chances are they lack jobs, and it's very evident. Like with what's happening right now, let me tell you for a fact. Some years back, the minimum wage in Kenya was probably $2 or 1.5. I'm not quite sure. But let me tell you, at the moment, if someone offers you with a $2 minimum wage, you're more likely not to take it, because at the end of the day, that will not even solve anything. Your rent is not up to that amount of money. And even if you do take up a house that is less than that amount of money, at the end of it all, you just not end up living well. Like there's just a lot. Like you might as well rent a house and stay hungry, or choose to eat while in the streets, because there's, or maybe homeless. And there's just a lot that this government of Kenya needs to look into, because people are going to school, spending a lot of money into school, and then at the end of it, you lack employment. So what will you do? If you meet a friend of yours that definitely probably does scams, you're more likely to be lured into it. And I'm actually not shocked at all. I'm not shocked that this is happening, because this is as a result of what is happening in our country. Like, I mean, people are suffering. And if like even if you say that you need to like be self-employed or anything, like where is the money to start up your own business? It's not there. There's no money. And the government at the end of the day keeps on increasing the taxes. So what what really do we expect? However, this is not something, this, like the whole carding issue and people posing as forex traders just to, so maybe to like launder the money or something. At the end of the day, it just doesn't make sense living in Kenya without a job. And that's why most people maybe opt to, people are like young, like the youth, resort to crime. And this is also crime. Cunning is crime as well. And also you could find that someone has like gotten themselves into drugs in the streets, robbing people, all manner of crimes. Why? Because there are no jobs. And like, it's very different from, like you're in the streets trying to fend for yourself, and maybe you're like at home, your mother is expecting for you to send some money back home. Like, how do you even like control the whole problem? There's nothing to it. And that is why I feel like sort of the education system is also like some sort of scam. If you ask me, it is totally a scam. I don't know, but a bit of it, it's just not worth it. Because like, let the education, if at all like the education system is not really a scam, then the leaders in place are supposed to like make it work for all of us. Yeah. Unfortunately, like I could go on and talk about the unemployment issue in Kenya, but it's just not worth it because I'm just going to get stressed, and it's not worth it. So the fourth point I identified is like the third major problems I identified was ethics. And this applies to both the unemployed youths, and just to point out, the individuals that allegedly are involved in this whole carding scam include: one, youths, that is the Kenyan citizens, junior citizens, and two, the senior citizens in Kenya, and this involves the government officials. Some government officials are involved. And I mean, like, what does this, like, what kind of picture does this paint on all of us who are out here trying to, like, maybe sell some things online? Like, it's very difficult. And like, it's like preaching, what is it called, it's like preaching water and drinking wine. It just doesn't make sense. Like, there needs to be a balance. Like, the leaders that we elect need to like be a perfect example to us. If we don't do that, this society is rotten, and I just don't see that. And I feel like so many people always get away with crime in Kenya because there's always someone behind them. There's a backing. They have like a backup, and the backup is in a very high position in power, such that they are untouchable. And it's just so unfortunate because if someone like me speaks out, who knows? This might be like the last video that you see. Yeah, like it's just an unfortunate truth. Yeah. And then the number four problem I identified, and this point is going to really be relative to the story that I'm going to tell after. Now, the fourth point is the data privacy breach. Let me tell you. Have you ever I'm pretty sure even if it's your service providers, it doesn't matter the country. The moment you call them, or maybe the moment they make a call to your phone number, there's always that recording conversation going on, and they're always like, this call will be recorded for is it privacy and quality assurance purposes? Yeah, that. You see, like, if at all like there's that term, like there's that condition of like the call being recorded, I don't expect you to breach that and share this data with a third party. I expect it to be private. Yeah. Now, on to my story, and you will see how it's related to the fourth point. Now, in 2019, 2020, I decided to take up a job, an online job. It was a transcription job, right? And with this company, and I could tell you maybe, and you will basically understand why the whole issue of carding. I have like a some sort of understanding to it. You will definitely understand. So in 2019, 2020, I get a job as a transcriptionist, and like the material was so easy to read through and understand, and so I was quite good at the typing and the listening and like turning recorded audio into text. And I found it quite interesting because for a very long time I had been looking for an online gig, and this was my very first. So it was that, and then I was as well learning forex from a friend of mine. Oh, there's a lot of noise. Let me just fix this and have the mic here. And so when I got the gig, when I got the online gig, I was so happy. I was so excited because also they were paying every single week. So what a better way, like what a better job than this. And the amount of money that you'd be paid depending on just how many files you'd process and submit. And so for me it was a plus because I was so good at the job and I love listening. But it only that years later it made sense to me, because the files that were sent to me were quite like the data inside was very sensitive information. And so this is where like the customer and the customer confidentiality breach comes in, because this was outsourced work. Like it was work outsourced. It's like, let's say, recordings from a bank. Let's say someone is acquiring a loan and they have to like read like their card numbers and their expiration dates, their name, and their linked phone number, things like that. Let's just take an example. That's one for the bank, right? And then the second one was for let's say like a court proceeding, and then the third one was like what is it? Third one was you see, like when you're booking like a vacation, and then you have to like input your payment method. Let's say you're going to somewhere like Cancun, or maybe Puerto Rico. Let's say you're going somewhere like that, and say I am the customer support, and then I call you, and I have to like ask for your name. So you have to like spell out your name, and then I ask you for the card number, and then I have to ask you for the expiration of the card, and then I have to ask you for what else? Basic, like the number linked to that specific card or the email linked to it, right? Now, I've told you that this data, like this call, is going to be recorded for privacy and quality assurance purposes, blah 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 blah, So you've built confidence in me. Now, since my work is to like, make the calls and get all the information and get you booked, so these recordings that we do, because maybe probably because of space of the recordings, this file is sent to, by not by me, but let's say by another department in the company I work for. The recording is sent to, let's say, like individuals that do transcription, let's say like a transcription company. And so the company, you see, like that is work that has been outsourced. The transcription company is not the company that I work for. And so since the information has left my space, my department, and my company and gone to another company, what will happen? Probably someone is going to steal your card number, like your card data, and that information can be used fraudulently online. Now you understand why I have such like I have like an understanding of what's going on when it comes to carding, right? Now, and I believe that when you need to like verify a PayPal account, you need the card number, the name on it, and the expiration date on it. So when you look at the two, at the end of the day, you might as well lose the money. And it's just so unfortunate that such things are happening. Now, let me tell you, Let's go back to the cybersecurity point and link it to the data privacy point. Now, I believe that before anyone can use your card online, you should at least have two-step verification, like two-step verification or authentication. And I believe that that would go a long way if we all did that. Yeah. And once and let's say for the case of the card being used online, let's say maybe someone is trying to like purchase something, things like that. I believe that the very first time before you verify the payment method on like an online market platform, I believe that there's a one-time passcode that is normally sent there. And I mean that if you indeed are aware of what happens when it comes to cyber crimes, you would not authorize your card to be used. Yep. Yeah, you wouldn't do that. And so I really do feel sorry for individuals that have lost their money in this whole scheme and scam. And I know that the whole news is going to expose so many individuals who actually hide behind trading the forex market. Yeah. And I'd like to, there's not really much to say, but what kind of government do we really have if at all government officials can be linked to the same? But you know what? I'm not really shocked because this is the same government that, you know, steals. Okay, for lack of a better word, it's the same government that let me not say steals, but was losing. Is it 2 billion Kenya shillings every day? Yet we have individuals who don't even have proper settlements. We have young men and out here who have graduated, they don't have jobs, and they have to fend for themselves and their families. And let me just say that there are so many men, let me not even speak for women, there are so many men out here without work. And like traditionally, and this is just something that I really cannot argue with when it comes to work. Traditionally, it's the man that is supposed to be the breadwinner. And so if the breadwinner is not empowered, what happens to the family? They most definitely will not take care of that kind of a setup. They don't conform to being fathers. They don't do that. They'd rather live their lives happily, like single and happily. And I don't know, it's just like society is really just dying slowly. And it just makes me so sad that the boy child is not longer being empowered. Rather, it's the woman has been extremely empowered to an extent that what is it called, feminism has lost its meaning. Like the Margaret Thatcher feminism definition is no longer there anymore. The current day definition of feminism is a woman taking the place of a man forcefully, or a woman equal, like being equal to a man in all manner of ways. So what's happened to our boy child? It's just unfortunate that we keep losing so many, and rates going up, and also cases of femicide. And I just think that if the system was not rotten and corrupt as is right now, we'd probably be in a better place. Yeah. So what can we do? Do let me know what you think about this episode. And I'm always very, very happy to just, post on this channel and, just stay consistent and just do what I like the most. Let me know what you think about this. What are your thoughts, and what would you want to see more while on this channel? And also, Have a lovely morning, afternoon, evening, and night, depending on the time that you will be watching this video. Bye.